Just the other day in my group on Facebook, which is Jill Wiseman's Beautiful Beaded Ropes, there's a whole bunch of us there and we talk about all sorts of things. And one of the ladies was looking for help because she was always twisting the first couple rows of peyote. And so she was really frustrated with getting peyote started. And so a bunch of the ladies were jumping in and giving her advice and giving her help. And one of them mentioned the product that I am about to show you how to use, which is, these are called Quick Start Peyote Cards. This is a product that was developed by Deb Moffett Hall. She is a beader who's been in the industry for a really long time. And this is her way of helping people learn, or not learn, but have an easier time of starting peyote stitch. I have already done videos on the traditional way to start peyote stitch and a video on how to start peyote stitch with 2 needles, which a lot of people will find very helpful, but it's still using 2 needles and can be a little bit awkward. This product is actually pretty cool. So there are upsides and downsides to it. What it is just this little piece of paper. I mean, it's literally just this little piece of paper. Now it's reinforced paper, so it'll last you a long time. This package comes, when you buy the package, it actually comes with 3 of these. So you can use this for a number of projects before it'll get beat up to the point where you'll need to move on to the second one. So you get 3 of them in a package. Here's one of the kind of downsides is that these holes that we're going to use that are in the card here, we're going to be using that to space out our stitches. It's specific to the kind of bead you're using. So in this case, this one is specific for size 11 seed beads. So you can only use this with size 11 seed beads. Now she's got more versions. She's got ones like this one is the other thing on this is you can see that this is the maximum number of stitches that you can do, and this is, I'm going to guess, about 15 stitches. But you can, and there are instructions in the package how you can cut 2 and tape them and make it longer. You can even put 3 together to make it longer if you're making a really long, wide piece. If all of that sounds like a lot of work, she has ones that are, this is called a wide card, so it's much longer and bigger for you to use for your larger projects. She's got ones that, this is a size 11 tubular start, so to start tubular peyote. I thought that was pretty cool. She's got, this is one where it's a assortment. So this has 2 of the size 15s, 2 size 11s, 1 size 8, 1 size 8 cylinder, so meaning like a delica, a size 8 cylinder bead, or it can also be used for size 6 seed beads. So the deal is that you have to have a card that's specific to the size bead that you're using, just so you know. What I'm going to be demoing here with today is the size 11 seed beads. Okay, so let me show you how this all works. Let's go to the hand cam. When you get this, it is just a flat piece, just like this. And what you're going to do is we're just going to fold it in half. And I've already folded this one, but I can tell you that this folded in half really beautifully. I believe it's probably scored already so that you don't have to really worry about matching up the ends or anything here to get it to fold beautifully in the center. With your thread, what you're going to do here is you're going to need a stopper bead. So I just happen to have a size 8 seed bead on my tray, and so I use that for my stopper bead. I'm going to take my needle and see this little, on either side, there's just a little kind of dot right off to the end here. And so that's, I want my stopper bead to be inside the fold. So I'm going to take my needle through that kind of random dot off to the side there. And then that just anchored my seed bead on the inside of the fold, okay? Then there's another stitch that you have to do because now your thread is coming out of the top here, and we want it to be coming out of the bottom of this area right here because we want to put our first bead there. So we're going to use this extra little dot on the side here to make that happen, meaning we're just going to take a quick little stitch here. It's going in the dot and then out the big hole right there. And now we are all set up to start adding our beads. And this is where now I can just fold it over, and I'm just going to pop these beads in those little slots, and I am passing through underneath the paper that's there to anchor it. So as I do this, there, it just popped into the slot. So I'll pick up my next one. I'll anchor it by going in under the paper between the two slots, like so. And you'll just do this for however many stitches wide you need. Now, one of the things that's interesting about this is if you're following a pattern that is like a color pattern, and you know on if you're following on a chart or a graph, how you have to pick up the beads of the first 2 rows all at the same time, so you have to kind of work up and down. Well, this, you're literally only picking up the beads of the first row. So if you're following a color pattern, this can make your life quite a bit easier. Okay. So I'll do one more and say that that's how wide I want whatever I'm working on to be. Okay. Oops, come on here. There we go. So we're going to say that this is how wide we want this to be. Now I'm going to turn around and start doing peyote in the opposite direction. So here we go. I'm picking up now the beads from my second round. This first bead I'm just going to let sit on top of the paper. There we go. So it's sitting on top of the paper, and now I'm anchoring by going through the actual beads that I added in this first round. Okay. So we're going to work our way down and do that. And it's really nice as I'm pulling this. It's just so beautiful how it just snicks into place. I mean, you can just feel it pop into place. It's a really good feeling when you do that. So here I am attaching my last one on this row. Now I'm just going to do the next row. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you've got at least 4 rows completed before you remove the card, because that gives you enough to hold on to. It makes your peyote piece stable enough that by pulling the thread on the first round that it won't fall apart on you. So you could even go farther than 4 rows if you wanted to. But Deb's suggestion is at least 4 rows. Uh-oh, do I have a naughty bead there that doesn't have much of a hole? There we go. And like so. And it's cool, you can, if you're working on a color pattern, you'd be able to see it all coming together here. All right, so one more row, and then I'll show you how we are going to remove this from the card. Because, you know, this is where somebody else is smarter than I am sometimes, because I might have come up with this idea for the little slots, but my thing would have been, oh, I'll just rip it off. Because I'm kind of a brute force kind of gal. I never would have come up with the, oh, let's figure out how we can reuse this over and over again. I would have been like one-time wonder. All right, and one more stitch here. Okay, so let's say now I'm ready to go ahead and take this off. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the inside here. We're going to pull the stopper bead out, and then you can just use your needle, and we're just going to pick that thread out in between these stitches. So I can go on this underside and just pick this thread. It shows right between the beads. Yep, come on here. There it is. There's the actual loop. And we'll pull it all the way. This also gives you a nice, decent tail thread to use later to end off your clasp. All right, like so. And now this will come off, and looky there. Beautiful, even tension, perfect start on your peyote. And it was quick and easy. So I'm pretty impressed with these little cards. I like them, and I will actually probably start using them in a number of my projects when I'm using those flat peyote pieces. I will have these for sale on my website at jillwisemandesigns.com. Right now I've got the assortment, the tubular, the wide size 11s, and then just the plain old size 11s. I will also look at getting size 8 ones and the size 6 ones. So I will have all of these of variety available for you. Because I think it's a really good tool for people, and it just takes some of the stress out of things, because beading's supposed to be fun, y'all. Happy beading.